Hi, Sally.
Hi Dean, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Apologise, I know you were waiting there for a short time.
No problem. Yeah,
Just a little bit of a mix-up with the sort of Q&A times, actually. But thank you for holding on there.
no problem at all. I suddenly got kicked out, and then I thought, oh God, I've lost the link. But yeah,
Thank you so much. How do I pronounce your surname? Is it Cancello? Is it Cancello?
Cancello,
Cancello.
Cancello. I'm just hiding any of my messy room now. You see, I'm just putting it towards me, Dean, so no
Oh
one
no,
can
it's
see
okay.
that.
My laptop's artfully directed in a similar fashion, just to
Exactly. The rest of the room is just like
yeah.
bodies and things like that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
below this line, it's a bomb site.
it's yeah. But it's Cancello. It's my husband is half Italian, so but Cancello, Cancello. Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard more.
I've heard a lot worse. I've been called a lot worse. That's what I should say. I've been called a lot worse.
Well, Sally, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your delightful film, Fargate. I have to admit, I'd never heard the name Fargate before I came across the film. And so initially I thought it was just a made up sort of play on Margate, or maybe a lesser known public scandal like Watergate or Saxgate. And obviously it is, upon sort of very quick casual research, I learned that it's actually a very real place and a shopping district in Sheffield. What's
Yes.
your own relationship to Fargate?
To Fargate. So Fargate is like the main high street in Sheffield. So when I grew up, I'm from Sheffield and I live in Sheffield, and it was always the main place before Meadow Hall was built, which is a big shopping centre nearby. It was the main high street. And then I came up with this idea for the film, and originally it was called something completely different. And then it was actually the associate producer said, why don't you call it Fargate? We were thinking about a different name. It was called Running with the Family, Running in the Family, sorry. And she said, why don't you call it Fargate? And it also sounded a little bit like Fargo, which I've actually never seen, but I've heard a lot about.
Right.
And I thought, oh yeah, because it's a bit intriguing,
Yeah.
and the film is so sort of northern and sort of, it's about Sheffield. I thought actually that's really great.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where the main event takes place. Yeah.
Excellent. The film is a wickedly funny domestic comedy. The characters are very relatable and recognizable personalities. Where did the idea actually come from for the film?
Yeah, no, it was really interesting because before this, I did about actually it was more like 15 short sketches, which it was like literally I'd have an idea and then I'd go, oh, that would be a great sketch or a great short. But with this one, I was putting in for BFI funding, and I thought, okay, let's think of an idea that would kind of represent me and what I do and what I'm about and this kind of thing. And so I actually thought about what would be a good idea, and then this idea came to me. I don't want to give away too much about it, but this idea came to me. And with comedy, extremes always work well. So family, I'm from a family of six, so I think probably whatever I do, it's always about families and communities, and in the north it's all kind of about communities. um, uh, Everybody, people will say, hi, do you need anything, or it's all about community. So that's kind of the base of who I am, really. And then the idea just came from that, about this girl who is Kelsey, who's in a difficult place in her life, and her family are really worried about her, but actually she's doing fine. It's her family which are more of a problem.
Yeah. You star in the film as well as direct. What are the main benefits or challenges of performing in your own work?
Yeah, so well, the benefits is that the character, and in terms of budget, because obviously budget is always important, but when you have a low budget, you have to think about where the budget's going. So that's kind of one actor taken care of, and it. Obviously what is difficult is having eyes outside of yourself, and particularly if you don't have time to be looking back at the shots, which again, if it's low budget, then you're not going to have much time. And we really didn't have much time to do that. So I'd thought about this a lot going into it. Obviously, everything that I'd done before, I'd always acted in. I started off my career in acting and theatre directing, so that was kind of where I'd gone. So I was used to acting in a lot of things that I was in. But I was actually in a round table with Jim Cummings, the actor and director of Thunder Road, and it was a question that I put to him, because I thought, hang on a minute, he's directing this, but he's in every scene and it's a feature film, you know. And he said what he did was he basically got a friend who was a director as eyes from the outside, you know, to give feedback on his own performance. And I thought that's a brilliant idea, which is something I took on board.
Right. And what was your timescale for the project? How long did it take for you to complete?
Yeah, so we filmed 4 days, and then we did a couple of days of pickups. So that was like 4 intense days, and then the end of the film, I inserted a scene. Again, I don't want to give too much away, but I inserted a character in the bank because I thought it was needed, and actually it really added to it. So we did those scenes, and then just some pickups as well.
It's a lovely touch at the end of the movie. I won't give away too much either, but yeah, it's a fantastic bit of comedy and slightly unexpected, but really nice.
And that's got an interesting story. I was going to say just very quickly, I was going into a bank at the time, and I'm awful with technology, and my husband was saying, why don't you kind of anything to do with bank, do it on your phone? And I was going into this bank, and there was this really passive aggressive bank clerk, and every time we went in, there was all of the cashiers, which were free, but we were all being directed to one table, I think, to get everybody online, you know. So there's like 10 of us in a row, and then there'd be like 4 cashiers but one person we were going to, you know. And I kept on thinking, why am I doing this? I need to get the app online. But I kept on seeing this character, and then I thought, hang on a minute, this would be really great.
Write that down.
Exactly. So yeah.
You mentioned it earlier, but your film did have support from the BFI network. How did you go about getting involvement from them, and what advice might you be able to give to other UK filmmakers seeking industry support?
So that was really interesting, because basically I didn't know about the funding. I just started. A friend of mine was filming a lot, and I was always waiting for them to finish filming so that I could act in it or get involved. And then it was my cousin said, look, you've got loads of ideas, why don't you start filming yourself? And I started doing these sketches just for myself, really. And with the 5th one of those, we won something called the Funny Women Awards. It was the first year that they had the awards. And then I carried on making, you know, up to sort of 15 shorts or sketches, really very short shorts, like 3 minutes, something like that. And I was doing that really to practice. It wasn't really for them to go anywhere. It was kind of for myself. And so when somebody said, oh, look, why don't you go for funding? I hadn't even really thought about it. I didn't even know it was available. But then when I did, I'd already done all of these shorts. So that was kind of evidence of what I could do. So then it obviously then it makes your application much stronger if you've already got stuff that you can show. And then I applied to do something that I was really passionate about, and that if I didn't get funding, I would make it anyway. You know, I think that's the main thing, is just to keep going, and if you get the funding, great. But if you don't, my plan was, well, I'll just make this anyway. You know?
Anyway, yeah, that's excellent.
Which I think is the key thing, as opposed to just waiting for the funding and not doing anything in between. It was a bit of a long answer, but that was kind of the journey to it. Yeah,
that's really useful for anyone that's watching and probably looking for any advice. That's great. What's next for you, and also where can audience maybe find some of your other work? Yeah,
so next for me, I also have early development funding from the BFI for a feature film, and I've written a treatment, so I've completed that. So I will be sending off for the next stage, which is the script stage. A few people kept on saying to me, you know, surely these characters in Fargate, surely, you know, you're going to do something with them, are you going to make a TV show, or, you know. And I was at, I think it was the Romford Film Festival, somebody said it to me there, they were sort of like, surely you're going to do something with this. And I came up with a TV idea, and I have a producer interested in commissioning that, so we'll see where that goes.
Oh, yeah, trust.
Yeah, so that is that. And yeah, I have other TV ideas which I'm developing, obviously the feature film as well, and some short film ideas. In terms of where people can find my work, I do have a YouTube channel, which is just Sally Cancello. Google Sally Cancello, it will come up. That's kind of my old sketches, which kind of were before this, but that might be quite interesting in terms of the journey. And I have a production company, Northern Soul Productions, which kind of shows the journey since Fargate.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations on the commissioning for the feature, and obviously we look forward to seeing that and more from you as well. That's all we have time for today. Thank you again for joining us here at Short Focus Film Festival, and for speaking with me about your film. It's a fantastic film. It screens as part of Programme 3 online between the 18th and the 26th of September. I hope audiences enjoy it as much as we do. Thank you again, Sally. All the best.
Thanks for asking me to be on here. Yeah, thanks very much, Dean.
Yeah, you're welcome. You take care. All the best.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
you too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.